Hi everyone, welcome back to Cassandra's Plants. Today I'm doing a little video that's been requested quite a bit, is to do a little comparison like I've done with the philodendrons, but for another very common plant is the Scindapsus. Now these are also known as the Satin Pothos, which is wrong. I totally understand why people call them that, just because of what their leaves are like. Very satiny, very silky, very shiny, exactly like satin, but they're not pothos and they're not philodendrons. They are Scindapsus or Scindapsus, however you want to pronounce it, which is a completely different type of plant. Even though they look the same, they grow the same, and very similar leaf shapes, but they are actually a different type of plant. So here today I've got 4 different variations or varieties of Scindapsus, and the different variegation. Now I don't know if this is just normal leaf patterning or is actually variegation. I'm not 100% sure, but whatever it is beautiful across all of them. So if you're a collector or you're into houseplants and you do a lot of research online or looking about online, you will have seen these, and you would have seen that people are avid collectors of these and the pothos and the philodendrons, normally all together. And there's a lot of little charts and sort of people that have done drawings of all the different leaf varieties, but a lot of them are quite difficult to tell apart. So I thought I'd do the 4 that I've got at the moment and try and help you see the difference on real life plants rather than in drawings. So as you can see, we've got this one here, different leaf sizes, this humongous one, this little one down here, and then some little cuttings that I've got hiding in the bottom down here. So we'll start with this big one, as this is the the humongous one, my favourite one. Just move these out of the way so you can see the whole plant. So this one you would have seen in other videos. I used this in my Kiki paste video to get it to grow, as it had been dormant for ages, and it worked really well. As you can see, I've got, turn it around, loads of growth points now. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 growth points in there, and a couple of aerial roots as well. So this is doing really well. So please go and check out the Kiki paste video to see how I did that and got it to grow. So this one is an Exotica, and this one is also in one of my earlier haul videos, as I got this from a shop on Facebook, a shop on Etsy even, which were really good, and this was a lot bigger and a lot more established than I ever thought it was going to be. So this is one of my favourite plants of all time. So here we go. It's got this humongous leaf. I don't think I've got a plant that's got a bigger leaf than this. It's almost as big as my hand. And this is, well, as I said before, an Exotica, and you can tell this by the pattern on the leaf. Now, the Exotica is probably most commonly confused with a silver splash, and I don't have a silver splash, but a silver splash, and I think I potentially might have a silver splash in here, but I'll show you in a minute. But the Exotica, as far as I'm aware, has one of the biggest leaves of any Scindapsus type, and that is one of the big giveaways that it is an Exotica. The other 3 that I've got, all the leaf sizes are roughly the same, and obviously if you do get bigger leaves on them as they mature and as they get bigger, and you know how happy they are, but I don't think any get anywhere near as big as the Exotica. And as you can see from this leaf here, this new one, and I don't know why it's going brown at the tip, it's worrying me a little bit, but and I don't like touching new leaves, this leaf is going to be huge. This leaf here is going to be huge, so we'll have to see how that goes with this one. But that is the Exotica, and it has this very distinctive pattern on it. Now moving on to this one, and this one is the one that is known as the Satin Pothos, and it's called an Argyraeus or Argyraeus. But this is the one that people know as the Satin Pothos because it looks most like the golden pothos, but with slight variegation. Now this one I got in the post a while ago, and I haven't included it on any videos because the parcel I got was a mess. It was literally cuttings made into a plant in a pot in a box, and obviously by the time I got it, the box was soaking wet. It had half dissolved. The postman had to put it in a damaged plastic bag that they do in the UK. All the soil was out and it was in a right state, but hopefully I've managed to save it. I've still got some leaves that are not doing okay, but it's growing at a rate of knots. It's growing loads and it's putting out all these new leaves, and it's started to trail and everything, so it can't be doing too bad. Even I'm trying to save some of the cuttings in here. A couple of them have died. It was much bigger than this and did have more. I think there's probably about 4 or 5 individual cuttings in here now that are growing, but that's okay. So this is this one. So on this one, there are a couple of cuttings that I think might be different. So these two here, these two long ones, I'll push it back a bit. So this one is definitely an Argyraeus. So is this one, right? But these ones on this side, as you can see, I want to show you this leaf in particular. Now, obviously, you're going to get the odd interesting leaf on each cutting, and you kind of have to go with what the majority look like on these plants, as you will get some that look like the other and it's not. A bit like the difference between a Philodendron Brazil, a Rio and a cream splash. You might get one leaf on a Brazil that looks like a cream splash, but that doesn't mean the whole plant is a cream splash. It's just an interesting leaf. So one here, see, now this one, you can see this leaf is much bigger than the others, and it's got a lot more variegation on it compared to some of these, and compared to some of these smaller ones. You see the difference there. It's quite move that one out of the way. It's quite a significant amount more. So I don't know if that is a silver splash or not. I don't know if that one is the same as this one here. Now this one, if that's a bit loose in the pot or not, but as you can see, this leaf here, now that looks like a Silvery, but so on this one, because it's got the variation on the tip, I don't know, it might be. But then these newer ones, see, that one was damaged in the parcel, and these newer ones don't look like that, but they are quite new leaves and they're quite soft still, so they haven't matured, so it's hard to tell, but that's okay, never mind. That's just how it is, I think, on this one. So there we go, that's that one. Now moving on to the next one, let's do this one next. So this one is actually a Silvery. So this one, I bought a couple of cuttings from a lady on Facebook. I'm not sure if that one's doing okay, but this one is doing great, and this one, and these are all Silvery. So as you can see on here, and this is a great example of a Silvery leaf, it normally has like a third that's all silver, and it normally goes all the way down to the tip, and it's normally like the bottom left hand corner. So this section down here, that's Silvery, and as you can see on this leaf, it started at the tip, and the tip is normally the giveaway on the Silvery. And this one, this leaf isn't too happy, but you can see like the whole corner, and these original cuttings, and this one down here, the whole corner. See, now with these, because you can propagate them from a wet stick, which is just a bit of stem that's got a node on it. If you ever get cuttings that do have suspect looking leaves on them, don't ever throw them away, because you can just grow new leaves from a wet stick. So I tend to keep these and put them in, and these were all rooted when I got them, hence why they're straight in soil. So we'll leave it, and if they want to pop out a new leaf, then they still can, like this one under here. I'm not sure, see, look, even though the leaf is dodgy, there's a new one coming underneath. So not sure about that one. Oh no, there is, see underneath, a new little one in there. So yeah, hopefully this will make a really nice big plant, and you see there's a new leaf coming out there as well. So this is a Silvery ant. So you can see that is a good example leaf. So if you ever want an example leaf, pause the video on that, take a screenshot and use that as your comparison as a Silvery ant, as that is almost like a perfect example for comparison. There you go. Then the last one are some new cuttings that I got recently, and I'm trying to water prop these at the minute. And one of them is starting to root. I'm not sure about the other one. So this one is called a Silver Lady. Now, as you can see, these look very similar to the Exotica, but the leaves are much smaller and slightly different shape. They're more of an elongated heart shape. And if I just compare it, so even to one of the smaller leaves, move that one out of the way. So even to one of the smaller leaves, you can see it looks very similar, but it is a different shape. Where this side is sort of squat and it's sort of curved in, with one side being bigger than the other. And the variegation is different. It is a different pattern, but there you go. Silver Lady, and I think this one is a better example of leaf shape. So it's sort of like a slightly bent heart, as you can see the variegation there. So they're Silver Ladies, and compared to the Silvery ant, if I can, there you go, again, different leaf shape, different variegation, similar size but slightly different. And there you go. So that's those four. Obviously there are other varieties, so you can get a Jade, which is satiny but all green. There's no silver on it at all. I think you can get a Silver, and it's all silver. And just as an addition, I'm also going to show you another Scindapsus variety, which is slightly different to this, and I'll explain as we go along. Okay, so these ones are all called Scindapsus pictus, and that's the main genus and variety of these ones. There is another one called Scindapsus Treubii, which are slightly harder to get in the UK, but I managed to get one, and I just want to show you the slight difference between these. So this one is known as a Treubii Moonlight, or a Scindapsus Moonlight, and as you can see, the leaf size is much closer to the Exotica, but they have a completely different leaf feel. These are quite textured and rough, and almost like you can feel the raised variegation on them. They don't feel like, I want to say normal green leaves. They're not smooth or just flat. They have tiny little bubbles on them. They almost feel furry, is the best way I can explain it. Whereas these are like any other plant, any other philodendron or pothos that you've had, and they're completely smooth and shiny, whereas these aren't. But as you can see on this, see, this is a reasonably new plant that I've got. I got it off of a lovely lady on Facebook. As you can see why it's called Moonlight. So these ones, you can see that they're in the same plant family. They have a very similar leaf shape. They grow the same way. But they don't have that rough texture to them. Now, there are different Treubii varieties, but they're a lot harder to get hold of in the UK. And I was very lucky to get this one. So I recommend, if you're interested in becoming a more established collector, or you want some more interesting plants in your collection, then definitely look out for Scindapsus Treubii. And I think you can get almost as much variety of plants as you can in the pictus as you can in the Treubii. So there's the difference. There's all 5 plants. I wasn't originally going to include this one, but I thought, why not? as it's part of the same variety. And I know people don't know much about these ones, or they get them confused, but these are definitely a Scindapsus as well. So there you go. One they get confused with the Satin Pothos, the Exotica, Silvery and down there, and the Silver Lady cuttings. So if that's useful and that's helpful, please let me know. If I do get any more varieties, I'll do an updated video to show you some more comparisons. Would really love to get a Silver Splash or a Jade next, but obviously they're the more difficult ones to get in the UK. So if you've got any in America, or you've got any pictures or in other countries, please feel free to share in the comments. Any questions, as always, in the comments. And if you enjoy my videos and my comparisons, by all means subscribe, and I'll see you all again next time.